What was your takeaway, big takeaways from the bird's eye view from where you were in Arrowhead Stadium, what you saw primarily in the first half out of that Bears first team offense, Tommy?
I'm glad they rebounded a little bit at the end, had a good 2-minute drill, but I was disappointed that, a jet sweep first play of the game, fumble. Then the tight end jumps the second play. Then they get themselves into a 3rd and 19, or the third down. There was a misread on the pass route that was ran. They got themselves into a 3rd and 19, and every offensive coach throughout the history of football, they always say we don't have plays designed to pick up 3rd and 19. And so you threw a pass for a short completion in the middle, picked up about 14 of it, but you still didn't do anything. Second series, a good point of attack run, play action to Swift. Then they had a 3rd and short where it was another good run by DeAndre Swift for a first down. Then Chris Jones lined up off sides, took it to a 1st and 5. So, they were gifted some yardage, but I think it was more some of the mistakes they made that Ben Johnson was unhappy with in his visit to the podium. And even after the game, I asked him first thing, are you going to watch this tape or are you just going to move on to Minnesota? And he says, oh, no, we are going to watch this tape and we are going to make some corrections. And I think that, you have the luxury of that 16 days. I think you have that chance.
I love how refreshingly honest he can be at times. And we carried his press conference earlier today before practice at 12:30. And he still, when asked about it, is not hiding from the fact that he's annoyed. He's mad. All the things you just laid out, the head coach is mad about it. You can tell that he's annoyed. And he keeps saying things like, I'm surprised and disappointed that these things are still a problem all these weeks later. How much should we be concerned about that come opening night? Like, this team's got to be ready to go against a really good defense inside the division on opening night.
Okay, last year, the Minnesota Vikings, they blitzed 277 times. It's the most in the NFL. Caleb Williams was blitzed 174 times. That's the second most in the NFL. So now the question marks that we've had all year about the offensive line left tackle position, that kind of gets the exclamation point there. Then we have some injuries at the running back position. And do you want to feed DeAndre Swift 45 to 55 plays the first week of the season? Because you got to make sure if he's the only healthy one going into the game that knows this offense the best on 1st, 2nd, 3rd down, is he up to all the requirements of that position to get the job done? But you don't want to wear him out week 1 because 5 days later or whatever, you're going to go into Detroit. And you know the emotional impact of that game with Ben Johnson and everything that goes into that game. It's not like you're going to have any emotional downtime once the season gets rolling.
Yeah, that's very true. What do you think about left tackle, and will it ultimately be Braxton Jones, something that they still won't commit to? Again, given an opportunity today, Ben Johnson would not commit, and he said he's not ready to talk about the starters yet. But in your estimation, is it very much leaning that way that Braxton will be the starter?
Yeah, he may be the starter, 2 weeks from last night, but I don't think it's guaranteed he's the starter for the rest of the season. And I think that pretty much goes with the majority of the guys. No one's guaranteed anything beyond their performance that lives up to the coach's position and head coach's expectations, no matter what side of the ball they're on. And so is Braxton the most experienced candidate for the job? Yes, but it's not saying that Theo Benedette can't continue to improve with the opportunity he's given in practice and whether he's running demonstration squad or not. And so Theo is going to be the guy that's really going to have to commit to improvement in the midst of the regular season, which always isn't the easiest thing to do considering how they go about distributing the reps in the 9-on-7s, the team works, the 1-on-1s, and the other drills.
Tommy, I've been patient with number 1 Jalen Johnson for an extended period of time here. Nobody wants to say anything about anything at all, and I feel a little like the great Judge Schmales. We're waiting.
Wow.
I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Yerk, the crazy thing about it, they don't have to give any injury information during the preseason, so we're all left out in the dark. And it's not like he's been standing out there at practice every day in training camp with his jersey on, paying attention and getting in the ear or standing in the hip pocket of Al Harris. He hasn't had very much of a presence on the practice field. And then, he's come out in pregame a couple of times throughout the preseason and did some drills at Soldier Field, but they had a big crew of guys that didn't travel to the game in Kansas City. Yerk, that's probably, as much as I am concerned about the left tackle position, I'm concerned about the defensive backfield because at the start of the season, we said, okay, they got 19 guys, 20, including Jalen Johnson. And then you got Brisker. We're all concerned about Kyler Gordon. Again, missed a period of practice time that he has over the last few years. Jalen Johnson has not even been on the practice field. So if you're looking at a team like the Vikings, even though they have a first-time starting quarterback, they do have J.J. Jefferson. They have a great tight end. They have a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. The one wide receiver is suspended, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. But, Yerk, I'm 100% with you. To me, I'm concerned about the defensive backfield as a whole.
Well, with you're not going to get anything potentially here out of a rookie you draft because he hasn't been able to practice. Terrell Smith goes on IR. You talked about Gordon, and we know a little bit of the injury history there. Was Nashawn Wright exposed a little bit Friday night in Kansas City, too? That'd be another question I'd ask if he does have to play a lot for Jalen Johnson early in the season.
Yeah.
Okay, True Fan Travel and ESPN Chicago are teaming up for the ultimate fan getaway to Sin City. That's right. We're going to see the Bears take on the Raiders in Vegas at the end of September. It's going to be great.
What do you get? Round trip airfare. You get a 3-night stay at Mandalay Bay. You got special live broadcasts of all the fellas. We're going to be there, guys. It's going to be Friday. It's going to be Saturday. It's going to be all the stuff on Sunday. It's going to be fantastic. You get to meet the ESPN Radio Chicago 1000 team, all-inclusive tailgate with all the bells and the whistles. Tickets to the Bears-Raiders game, which is probably the most important thing in the world, and there's more to come.
All right, spots are limited, so do not wait. Reserve your spot today at truefantravel.com.
Boom.
I think he was, but I think, listen, if you're not getting some type of pass pressure that speeds up the thinking process of a quarterback, yeah, maybe Mahomes wouldn't be guilty of that, but you hope you could do it to J.J. McCarthy. But Minnesota's brought in some offensive linemen. They got a quality offensive line. So, and then as Tyreek Stevenson, does he have the ability to take over that number one guy, or is he going to stay on one side of the field and then they're going to have his counterpart stay on the other side of the field? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but I think for all of us, hopefully they're already installing the Minnesota game plan. If they're not, it would be a waste of time. But next week when they got to put out that first injury report, maybe we'll learn a little bit more about Monangai, about Roschon Johnson, about Jalen Johnson, and some of these other guys, Shamar Turner, that haven't been active in practice as of yet.
They waived Ian Wheeler. Does that give you some hope that Monangai and Roschon should be good to go?
I sure hope so. I don't know if you waive him just to try to get down to that number, and I don't know if there's any team is going to go out there and pick up Ian Wheeler. But if he doesn't get picked up and Monangai or Roschon Johnson can't go, you could probably bring him back aboard and put him on the active roster immediately. I don't hate the guy. I think he showed some quality of recovery from his knee injury, and he has a good understanding of this offense, but I think if you're looking for the long term and Coach Eric Bieniemy and the way he works these guys, you would like to have Roschon and Monangai if those are going to be the two guys that are go. But, Britton Brown, 38, he's done a nice job. And, he kind of shows that he's got the willingness to play a physical style of game. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. And if they bring a blitzer at him, like they're most likely going to, that he's willing to go up there and meet the blitzer in the hole.
All right, who's been your sleeper at camp?
Oh, man, my sleeper at camp. Last time I think I said Amadeus. Zacchaeus has really helped out a lot.
Alameda Zacchaeus.
Yeah, Alameda Zacchaeus really has, because they kind of look for that, who is going to be that third guy to get in there with Rome and DJ. But I will got to say, I need to see a lot more out of Rome. And I don't know if it's from the quarterback trying to learn and, develop timing in the offense. I would hopefully that he would be a guy that is going to be a security blanket for Caleb, and to be that guy that maybe you can throw him open or you can throw to him even when he's covered. So I would like to see that. I feel confident about Colston Loveland because I think that he's a willing blocker. He doesn't shy away from contact. You can kind of do a lot of the things that they're doing with the tight ends, whether they're running inside wham plays with them, or he can line up next to the left tackle and give him that right hand before he goes out in a route. And, those are the types of things that I think that can benefit this offense.
All right, enjoy Labor Day weekend, and we'll preview the Vikings in more detail when we talk to you again a week from today, okay?
All right. You guys enjoy as well.
All
Thanks,
right,
you guys.
See you, buddy. There's Tom Thayer.